As spring practice gets underway for the NC State football team, all eyes are on junior quarterback Jacoby Brissett. The West Palm Beach native will take the reins of the Wolfpack offense after spending last year on the sidelines following his transfer from Florida. Brissett grew up in sunny and hot South Florida with two older brothers and a younger sister. A self-described chubby kid, he began playing football at the age of 5, even though he didn't like it. Coaches quickly realized that the young player had a cannon for an arm, but he was too big to play quarterback, so he spent his time at offensive line, defensive line, and tight end. Brissett attended Dwyer High School, where he led the Panthers to their first ever state title in 2010. As a senior in 2011, he threw for an area-best 32 touchdowns with just 1 interception, while rushing for another 7 scores. Following his prep career, Brissett was tabbed as the number 3 quarterback prospect in the nation and was courted by many major college football programs. He chose, however, to attend the school that also had a commitment from the nation's number 1 quarterback prospect.
And I knew if I wanted to be the best Jacoby, then I needed to go there.
When he got to Florida, he saw playing time right away. He became the first true freshman in Gator history to take his first career snap as the starter when he got the nod against top-ranked LSU in Death Valley.
Well, what a moment. Number 17, Jacoby Brissett in Death Valley. His first start as the Florida quarterback. This will be the first snap he's taken.
And it's the first time in Florida history that a quarterback's first snap as a true freshman was in a starting role.
It was one of probably my best college moment ever, first snap.
Over the 2010 and 2011 seasons, Brissett would play in 13 games and start 3 for Florida. But he realized during his sophomore season that if he wanted the opportunity to lead a team, it would have to be somewhere other than Gainesville. Despite his disappointment at not being tabbed as the starting quarterback at Florida, his teammates and coaches praised him for being an excellent teammate and leader. When it came time to decide where he would take his talents, he remembered a coach who had recruited him to go to Wisconsin a couple years earlier. Dave Doran had just been named the head coach at NC State, and Brissett said he stood out in his memory.
He came to practice, and he always says that Big Daddy, and I just never forgot him. It was the same Coach Doran you see now.
Within a month of Doran taking the job at NC State, Brissett arrived on campus. It was rough beginnings for the transfer when he first arrived in Raleigh.
I didn't know really anybody, and the first couple months where I could literally count the minutes of the day, it was long. I didn't know anyone. My first day here, it snowed.
He also knew that it would be a year before he would be able to compete in earnest, as he would have to sit out due to NCAA transfer rules. It was a difficult year for the young man who had grown to love football, but he was determined to make it count. It was difficult going through practice every day knowing he wasn't going to play, but Brissett soon found his role. At halftime of the Richmond game, when the Pack went into the locker room down 21-13, he decided he was ready to step up, even if he couldn't step onto the field.
One day in that locker room, I was just like, I'm not waiting for Coach Doran to get in here because I'll probably say something that he won't like. And I just started talking.
Brissett traveled on his own to every road game last season, with the exception of the game at Boston College. He was on the sideline to encourage his teammates and became a common sight on the state bench, jumping up and down and waving his towel.
I know when I'm playing, I want everybody to know that I was there for them. That time that I technically wasn't supposed to be doing any of that, I could have just sat on the sideline and mowed the whole time because I wasn't out there.
This spring, Brissett has a completely different mindset, and it's a determined one.
It's totally different. When I first got in here, I knew I wasn't playing, so I'm like, let me just do all I can. I just want to go out and practice and stuff like that.
Although he has only 2 years to make his mark in Wolfpack history, Brissett is confident he will do just that.
It's been a long time since the ACC championship's been here, and a long time since the national championship been here, and I just want to leave the legacy of the best Jacoby possible and accomplishing all those team goals that we have set out for ourselves.
Brissett says being named the starting quarterback before he's even taken a snap for the Wolfpack might add a little pressure, but he has no problem with that.
Well, pressure makes diamonds, so that could be a good thing.